He created many popular conservative websites. He has a new book out entitled Righteous Indignation, Excuse Me While I Save the World. We're very pleased to welcome to Newsmax for the first time, Andrew Breitbart. What inspired you to write this book, and what do you hope readers learn from it?
Well, I started, luckily, when I started to have these epiphanies of moving left to right, I happened to meet Matt Drudge, and I was at the right place at the right time at the beginning of the new media revolution. You couple Rush Limbaugh in 1988, starting what was criticism of the mainstream media. Drudge joins the revolution and creates an online component that brings in, anyone with a modem and a computer could get involved in this. I was there from the very beginning, since 1995, and now we're at the most exciting point because we're actually defeating the old media. We've given them every warning in the world to correct their business model. We've acted as a checks and balance and said to Katie Couric, we noticed that you treated Barack Obama in your questioning of him to a different standard than you held Sarah Palin. If you're not going to be fair while proclaiming that you're an objective journalist, we're going to become the media. And I think that when you look at what Hannah Giles and James O'Keefe did with the Acorn videos, you can see that for $1,400 collectively in a town-to-town, city-to-city, Acorn office to Acorn office, they were able to expose a major vaunted organization associated with the president as being fundamentally corrupt. That is a message sent to the mainstream media that you can do what 60 Minutes did for pennies on the dollar. The new media is now the media, and so what I see is new media arrows are going up, old media arrows are going down, and I'm trying to show people how they can get involved in this incredibly exciting revolution. This is a Saul Alinsky primer for radical conservatives who want to not just sit on the sidelines and snipe, but want to become participants in this revolution.
Quoting you, I call it the Democrat media complex, and I am at a war to gain back control of the American narrative. What do you mean by American narrative, sir?
Well, I believe that we are a center-right country. If you look at the Gallup poll, there's a 2-to-1 ratio of conservatives to liberals. And I think that what you find out about liberals is that they always realized in this country that they were outnumbered, that people who believed in e pluribus unum, the Constitution, individual responsibility, all that type of stuff, we're the majority in this country. And so in order for them to slowly move a center-right country to the left, they decided to take over and isolate the cultural institutions, Hollywood, the mainstream media, the mainline churches, academia, K through 12. And what they're able to do, starting at kindergarten and all the way up, as an accompaniment to your education, your liberal education, kids are getting reinforced with MTV, they're getting forced with reality television, they're getting reinforced with movies and music that affirm the liberal narrative in our culture. The only place a person like Andrew Breitbart could even find conservatism was stumbling upon the AM dial. If you listen to the AM dial, you are listening to the conservative narrative. But the rest of our culture, where most people have it as a massive fire hose into their mouth, you're only getting the liberal narrative. And so what the new media is a checks and balance against that, and it's a way that we're trying to drive the conservative narrative and make it so that the mainstream media can't be the only game in town.
Donald Trump tells us he thinks the mainstream media are in love with Obama, are protective of him, and treat him with kid gloves compared to previous Republican presidents. What do you say to that?
For a person like Donald Trump, who wields pop culture, who is in the center ring of pop culture with The Apprentice and just the way that he plays the media, Rush Limbaugh has been saying that to 20 million people a week for the last 23 years. But to get Donald Trump to force the magnets that are the cameras to be focused on his magnetism, it's causing a lot of Americans to see things that Katie Couric and Brian Williams and Charlie Gibson haven't wanted you to see. So he's been pointing out the elephant in the middle of the room, and we're really at the end phase of this facade that there is something like a media that isn't wholly out for Barack Obama and for leftist politics.
Andrew, you say the presidency is beneath Sarah Palin. What do you mean by that?
I think that Sarah Palin rose through the pop cultural ranks the day that John McCain picked her, the day after Obama spoke in Denver at Invesco, and it sucked the wind out of the air for Barack Obama, who was supposed to be doing a victory lap after speaking amid 50,000 plus people, maybe more. I think it was like 100,000 people, and he had those columns. And this was our introduction to somebody who wasn't a king, but who was a god. And the next day, Sarah Palin went out there, gave an amazing speech when she was the surprise pick, and you could see that she was pulling in even the Democratic women that Hillary, the Hillary supporters. And so she, over the last few years, was the only person on the Republican side who could fill up a stadium or fill up a large crowd, 10,000, 20,000 people. She created a reality show. If the mainstream media wasn't going to treat her, if she went onto their turf and was interviewed by Katie Couric, and they were going to be rude to her, she was going to speak like Ronald Reagan did, around them, over them. And she does. She has a huge pop cultural capability. And I think that in our country, if she were to aspire to be Oprah Winfrey instead of Barack Obama, she would have a 10, 20-year reign as a person who could influence people in the middle of the day, specifically women in the middle of the day, and pull them back towards a center-right perspective where Oprah Winfrey has spent the last 20 years, 25 years indoctrinating people slowly but surely in a liberal point of view.
So in your view, a conservative Oprah Winfrey role is better for her than running for president?
Well, look, it's a controversial point of view because I would not be against her running for the presidency, and I was flip when I said it would be beneath her, but it's underscoring my point that pop culture is omnipotent in our culture. It was Oprah Winfrey who took an obscure senator, a freshman senator, and turned him into a rock star. She said on the Oprah Winfrey show, "I'm never going to run for office, even though people ask me, but if you chose to run, I would get behind you 100%. That, to me, was the beginning of the ascension of Barack Obama to the presidency, because she introduced him to celebrities, she helped produce his campaign to a great extent, and she was able to create this perception, this Hollywood-based perception that he was invincible."
Again, the name of the book, Righteous Indignation. Andrew Breitbart, thanks so much and good luck.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.